Continued hot weather tomorrow with a possibility of thunderstorms tonight. Again, topping the news today.
There's been some cloud buildup and lightning activity predicted in your area this afternoon.
Winds from the northeast expected to reach 30 to 45 miles per hour. In Southern California,
California's summer and fall months are traditionally a time for vacationing, a time for traveling and camping in the great outdoors, a time to seek quiet shade on a mountainside, and a time for fires. The wildland areas teem with people cooking, smoking, romping and playing, and some even working. Ground vegetation has been baked and dehydrated by weeks of hot sun with little or no rainfall. Inevitably, there will be fires, some caused by natural phenomena such as lightning strikes, but most caused by human beings. California's fire protection problems are unique among the 50 states and probably among the worst in the world. It is the most populous state in the Union, with a network of freeways and secondary roads affording easy access to most wildland areas. It has the widest variety of topography. Nearly any terrain in the world, from the glacial slopes of the Himalayas to the blistering Sahara dunes, can be duplicated in California at some season of the year. Heavy winter rain and spring snowmelt foster a heavy growth of wild ground cover. Then, abruptly, come months of much sunshine and little moisture. Vegetation dries to the consistency of gunpowder, and the fire season is upon us. The hazard is further augmented, usually in September, by strong, drying winds. The problem is particularly acute in Southern California, where the Santa Anas blast in from the northeast in 3 or 4 day cycles. Velocities may reach up to 70 miles per hour, and any spark is a potential holocaust. Small wonder that wildland fire protection agencies statewide respond to more than 40,000 alarms a year. Fortunately, very few of this number ever grow to more than 10 acres in size. That they do not is due to a coordinated system of detection and communication among fire agencies, providing fast initial attack by ground or air forces, or both when required. Wildland fire protection in California is furnished by the California Department of Forestry and by the United States Forest Service. Additionally, reciprocal or mutual aid agreements are in effect with nearly all city and county fire departments. The end objective is for the necessary men and equipment to be on hand whenever and wherever needed. Initial attack forces may vary widely from one engine crew to several engines, bulldozers, and air tankers. 5414. This is probably initial attack in its most basic form. One man with one back pump. The fireman was en route somewhere on other business when he spotted the fire in its first stage and took prompt and effective action. Had he judged the fire to be beyond his capabilities, he would have reported this to the dispatcher, and more forces would have been quickly underway. Fire reports reached the dispatcher in the emergency command center from any number of sources, often from private citizens living in or traveling through an area adjacent to the fire's origin. both the U.S. Forest Service and CDF maintain lookout towers on strategic high points throughout the state. These are manned dawn till dark during the critical fire season. Patrolling aircraft are often used in high fire risk areas, particularly where there has been a history of incendiarism or where there has been recent lightning activity. The concept of initial attack is the dispatch of a pre-planned level of forces necessary to contain a fire without significant increase in forces within the first 2 hours, and where full control is expected by 10 a.m. the following day. The dispatcher receiving the initial report has invaluable assistance in determining the extent of the attack force with his file of response cards. This is a system of indexed information accumulated and cataloged through years of experience with fire control for any given area. Within seconds after pinpointing the location of the reported fire, the dispatcher pulls the proper card and knows immediately what forces to dispatch. There are, of course, numerous variables in any fire situation, but the cards evaluate most of them. The type of terrain and accessibility to it, the type of fuel in that area, the burning index for that particular day, whether hot, dry, and windy, or cool and cloudy. Even the relative values of the resources in the threatened area are considered, whether prime timber, homes, or open range, brush and watershed. Obviously, this was not a fire that could be handled by a man with a back pump, nor even one that could be controlled at the initial attack stage. The primary problem was one of steep and inaccessible terrain, making approach by fire engines impossible, and attack by hand crews time-consuming and dangerous. Air attack provided the best solution to slowing down the fire until ground personnel could fight their tedious way in for the final control. Although the fire burned for 3 days, no lives or homes were lost.
Emergency fire dispatch, 1440. What's across street? Can I have your name and callback number?
Dispatch area C7.
Would you dispatch the helicopter and one-hand crew?
One-hand crew, all right. Alma Hell attack respond.
Sunol and Sunshine respond.
Alma Hell attack, order number 541618. Initial attack, our dispatch area C7, Charles 7, Lake Chabot Road, grass fire, 1441 hours, KVZ 20.
5481, 5484, 5494, 5442, and 5469. A grass fire, Lake Chabot Road, Cross Street, Henderson. dispatch area C7. Lake Chabot Road, dispatch area C7. 1442, KHQ61.
RL5 Morgan Hill, new order number 541618. I'd like to have one hand crew to our dispatch area C7, Charles 7, Lake Chabot Road.
This blaze started not through malice, merely through inattention and carelessness on the part of the operator. Any internal combustion engine, large or small, is a hazard in a dry, grassy area. Spark arresters are a must under these conditions. Because of early detection, followed by prompt and efficient initial attack, the fire was extinguished in less than an hour at minimal cost. The achievement of any worthwhile project, whether building a skyscraper or putting out a fire, requires someone in charge at the working level. In the case of a fire, it is the fire boss. In initial attack circumstances, it is usually the station fire captain who assumes this responsibility. Long-range fire suppression strategy may be planned in air-conditioned offices hundreds of miles from the scene. But like the infantry platoon commander, the fire boss must meet the enemy face to face and make immediate decisions as to the best method of attack. The first sight of a fire from several miles away may yield some clues. The color and density of the smoke may indicate what type of fuel is burning, the spread and intensity of the fire, and the direction of the wind. Upon arrival at the scene and size up of the fire, several quick decisions must be made. One of the first and most important is whether the fire can be controlled with the men and equipment on the scene, or are additional forces necessary. If more help is needed, the time to ask for it is right then, not several hours later after the fire has spread well beyond the initial attack containment stage.
Monte Vista, 6372, we're 1097, 2 miles on McLean Truck Trail off of Highway 94. Got about 25 acres of moderate brush going up with a moderate rate of spread. Request an additional hand crew and dozer.
Having quickly evaluated the behavior of the fire, both present and probable future, the fire boss has decided what additional forces are necessary. Now, as to the best method of attack. It is desirable, of course, to launch a direct assault with hose lays and water on the flames at the perimeter. If this can be done safely, well and good. Time will be saved. Often, however, the steepness of the terrain and the heat of the fire at the perimeter make it impractical and dangerous to approach directly. In such cases, the fire boss will probably create a fire break by removing the burnable fuel in a belt surrounding the fire perimeter. Here, hand crews and bulldozers are the most valuable firefighting tools. Natural barriers such as roads or small bodies of water can also be usefully incorporated into the fire break. Once the break is completed, it must be carefully patrolled until the fire is completely out. Shreds of burning fuel may blow across the break and start a new fire. If allowed to develop, then the whole process must begin all over again. Rarely indeed will two fire situations be identical. But the fire boss, in addition to having sweated through a few hundred hours of training, has seen and handled enough fires that he can usually predict with accuracy the behavior of any given fire, according to the existing weather and fuel conditions. This kind of experience is further backed up by a network of detection, communication, and coordination with other fire protection agencies. Additionally, fire prevention and education programs are constantly being implemented at every age level and occupation. Without all this, existence in suburbia might well be a day-to-day challenge. The recorded statistics following a fire are apt to be terse and not very exciting. They may read something like this. Excalibur Fire, Lassen County, September 23, 1978. Area burned, 22,500 acres, timber and watershed. Damages estimated at $6.5 million. Cost of suppression, $2.7 million. Probable cause, lightning. Those 5 short lines reveal little of the thousands of man-hours spent in training, planning, and preparing for a contingency of this nature. They reveal even less of the hours of heat, smoke, dust, exhaustion, and sometimes outright terror faced by the men on the fire lines. Men in fire protection agencies deeply cherish 2 phases in their chosen line of work. The second favorite phase is the fire that is controlled at the initial attack stage. The first is the fire that never started.